What's up, YouTube? It's your boy, and I'm back with another video, man. And you already know what I need you to do. Hit the subscribe, hit the like, hit the notification bell because it does go a long way with helping out the channel. If this is your first time, welcome to Hold My Nuts Podcast, where we talk about everything semen retention and no fap. If this is your first time, listen. You didn't come across this channel by accident. I already know why you're here. You're tired of releasing on your keyboards, your laptops, and your desktops. You're tired of being manipulated and dominated by female culture. Man, you're in the right place. If you already been rocking with your boy, you already know the love is real. Go ahead and give your boy a thumbs up on the video. Let's go ahead and knock that out, man. We want to get this content out to as many people as we possibly can, to as many men as we possibly can, so we can begin to change the paradigm. Guys, you already know I got the merch, so you can go over to holdmynutspodcast.com. I got the new t-shirt on today. This is called Seed Spiller, and this is based off of the dude Onan who, dropped his seed on the ground instead of impregnating his brother's wife, and the Bible says that God killed him for being wicked. I did a video on that. That video is titled Seed Spiller. So go check that out. And this shirt here is inspired by that. Also got the memberships. I just dropped a video on Flatlines on members only content. So if you're interested in hearing that video on Flatlines, go ahead and sign up for the memberships, guys. Listen, man, today I want to talk about being misunderstood. It's a thing that I've dealt with pretty much my whole life, just being misunderstood. And being misunderstood is something that at times can be very, very frustrating, just people not understanding where you're coming from. People not being able to have empathy, being able to put themselves in your shoes and see from your vantage point is really difficult. And I feel like if we did have empathy, if we were able to practice empathy, we can at least attempt to try to see and understand, where a person is coming from. Being misunderstood when you're on semen retention is going to be enhanced, because number one, if you are a person who that naturally goes against the grain, and then you happen to get on semen retention, your refined focus, renewed focus is going to cause you to be more misunderstood, right? People already don't get you, right? And that could be frustrating. I know a lot of people out there say, I don't care what people think, and they can think whatever they want to think. That's cool. That's dandy. But it really gets to you when it's people that's close to you. Nobody really cares what people think from afar. You know what I mean? For the most part. But it's the people that you deal with on a daily basis that when they don't understand you, it can be hard at times. It can be hard at times. So what do you do when you're misunderstood? No matter how you lay it out for someone, they can't get it. They can't see it. They don't understand your methodology of why you're doing what you're doing. They can't see it. And what we have to do as men is we have to just accept the fact that people will not understand. Your loved ones will not understand. You have to get to the point in your life where you have to accept that this is something that is a reality for you. You're not going to be able to change this. And in actuality, though we don't like the feeling of being misunderstood, sometimes the reason you're misunderstood is because God has something specific, special unique for you to do. The Bible says that he takes the foolish things to confound the wise. Sometimes what you're doing seems foolish to the wise. God takes the foolish things to confound the wise. That's gonna automatically make you misunderstood. Let me find that verse. Let me find that. Here we go. First Corinthians chapter 1, verse 27. It says, but God chose the foolish things of the world to shame the wise. God chose the weak things of the world to shame the strong. Semen retention to most is foolish, but there's other things in your life that you do that to others will seem foolish. It's foolish to walk away from a job making 80 grand a year, right? I did that about 4 years ago. I walked away from a job making 80,000 or so a year. And at the time, for me, at least, maybe not for you, but for me, that was a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? And I walked away from it because my income kept going down. I went from 80,000. I was selling health insurance. I went from 80,000 to 70,000, and then I went down to 50,000, and even 50,000. 4 or 5 years ago, that's a decent salary, right? If you're in a two person household and you got another person chipping in, let alone you making 80,000, right? That's some decent money, man. You mean you're not rich, but you can buy a steak if you want, right? But it was foolish to people around me when I walked away from that because I chose to go out and do real estate. So it was foolish to the wise people around me. That was a foolish thing to do. But looking back, had I stayed at that job, I would not have accomplished things like this. Well, no, you don't need to see that. But selling real estate, tens of millions of dollars in volume in real estate, selling new construction, meeting new people, getting enhanced skills, embarking on the career path that I could do for quite a long time. But it was foolish, and the people around me did not understand, and that tension you have to deal with. Because no matter how you lay it out for them, they don't get it. They don't understand, right? But what do? Do you fall back and do you, give in to their suggestions? Do you give into their feedback of what you're doing and follow their plan? Or do you stick to your core beliefs, and do you press forward? Do you move on? Even though they don't understand, that can cause tension. That does cause tension. But God chose the foolish things of the world to shame the wise. He chose the weak things of the world to shame the strong. Sometimes we do things, we're misunderstood, and people just don't get it. We have to accept that. That's just the way it is. That's the way it's going to be. Everybody's not going to be able to understand. And you got to understand, a lot of times your mission, your goal, your destination is life. In life, it's not meant for everybody to understand because they're not actually going through the process. You are going through the process. God is dealing with you in the process. They will see the effects of what you're doing. They'll see the benefits of what you're doing once it matures, once it materializes. But you have to get comfortable with the fact that people are not going to understand you. It's going to seem foolish to people, to your friends, that you know you're retaining. Like I told you before in my other video, you know, you tell friends you're retaining, and they're going to immediately try to make suggestions as to why you shouldn't do it. And then they're going to give you that fake love, like they really support you. And then they're going to ask you every other week, are you still retaining? Because they want to see if you fell off. They want to see if you can really do it, because in their minds it's foolish, or they can't do it, or what's the purpose of doing it? Or they'll say things like, oh man, you better than me. You know, I'm gonna keep knocking them off. Boy, ooh, she was this, ooh, she was that. Right? So you have to accept the fact that you're misunderstood. And being misunderstood is a good thing, because a lot of times if people do understand you, that can be a bad thing as well. You know, they may, you know, stifle what God is trying to do, because they do understand. And the fact that they understand, they may say, well, this is a bad idea because I understand. When people don't understand, they just sit back in confusion. They may offer a suggestion, they may offer their opinion, but they don't really know why you're doing what you're doing. If a person can understand why you're doing what you're doing, then they have an angle to attack it, or to bless it, or to say, you know what, I see what you're doing. But in most cases, when people understand your why of what you're doing, it may not line up with what they think is wise. And that negative thought could impede on your ability to press forward and to continue going. So what you have to understand is, and what you have to do is, you have to get comfortable with being misunderstood. Because people are going to judge you based off of your actions, regardless of how pure your intentions are. People are going to judge you based off of your actions, regardless of how pure your intentions are. Man, listen, if you're getting value from this video, hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel, man. Let's get this information out there. Being misunderstood is a part of the process, man. But what happens, this is what happens when you allow yourself to be misunderstood. You have to start embracing this as a good thing, despite the feeling you get from being misunderstood. No one really likes to be misunderstood, but we can approach this from a different vantage point. Being misunderstood creates mystery. It creates a cloud of confusion. It also creates apprehension from the outside, from those outside looking in. It creates fear from the outside looking in, because they don't know how to approach, because it's something that they don't understand. They don't know where you're coming from. It creates wonder. Now people are thinking about, why is he doing this? Right? If you can get comfortable saying, you know what, instead of feeling bad about being misunderstood, I'm going to embrace it. I'm going to embrace being misunderstood. No longer will I continue to try to over-explain my actions, over-explain myself to people. No longer will I spend day and night trying to get people to see it the way I see it. Maybe I'm just going to allow them to be confused, because if they're confused, one, they don't know what to say to me. They don't know how to attack me. They don't know how to come at me. And that's going to give me the protection I need to keep pressing forward. Jesus said, the disciples asked him, they said, hey, why do you speak to the people in parables? He said, because if I was to just give it to them in the plain truth, they might repent and believe. I know some of you might be saying, man, that's harsh. But let me pull this verse up so we can read it in context together so you can kind of understand the application of it. Matthew chapter 13. It says, the disciples came to him and asked, why do you speak to the people in parables? Let me pull up the whole passage because it only pulled up the verse. Matthew 13. All right, where we at? Matthew 13. 13:10. All right. So the disciples came to him and asked, why do you speak to the people in parables? Verse 11. He replied, because the knowledge of the secrets of the kingdom of heaven have been given to you. Oh man, I might be getting revelation the same time y'all getting revelation. I think I just saw something for the first time. Let's read that again. It says, he replied, because the knowledge of the secrets of the kingdom of heaven have been given to you, but not to them. So that confusion is because it's been given to you and not to them. That's why they can't understand. It says, whoever has been given more, and they will have abundance. Whoever has, okay, my bad. Whoever has will be given more, and they will have abundance. Whoever does not have, even what they have will be taken from them. This is why I speak in parables. He says, though seeing, they do not see. They can see what you're doing, but they can't see, meaning they don't understand what you're doing. They see what you're doing, but they don't understand. He says, though hearing, they do not understand. So not only can they see, but they don't see. They're hearing, but they don't understand. Then he goes on to say, you will ever be hearing, but never understanding. You will ever be seeing, but never perceiving. For the people's heart has become calloused. They hardly hear with their ears, and they have closed their eyes. Otherwise, they might see with their eyes, hear with their ears, and turn, and I would heal them. That's the passage. That's Matthew chapter 13, verses 10 through 15. So God has something for you. He has something for you. They can't understand what it is. That's why your life is different. Your life is different, right? The things you're doing, it doesn't make sense to them because they can't see the end. They don't see God's plan for you. Even though God has brought you through multiple times, they've seen God bring you through multiple times, they still doubt that what you're doing is beneficial, is good, is wise, because they're using man-made wisdom. The Bible said that God used the foolish thing to confound the wise. You have to trust God, and you have to allow that cloud of ambiguity to filter and to protect you from those that don't understand, so you can stay on your mission. Embrace the fact that they see you, but they can't perceive. Embrace the fact that they hear you, but they do not understand. And when it's all said and done, all will be made clear. God's power will be made manifest in you for your benefit and for his glory. Don't lose heart. Embrace the being misunderstood. It's not a bad thing to be misunderstood. Jesus was misunderstood. His disciples were misunderstood. Anyone who's actually doing anything good, they are going to be misunderstood. Anyone who's doing big things, they're going to be misunderstood. The worst thing you can be is understood. That's the worst thing that you can be, is understood. That's the worst thing you can be, is understood. And that's what I'm going to title this video. And it's crazy that I'm naming the title of this video at the end of this video because I don't have a title for it. But it's about being understood, being misunderstood. I think that's what I said in the beginning of the video. But I'm going to title this. I forgot. But guys, this is God Bless. No, that's not. No, it's not. This is Hold My Nuts podcast. I had an old channel, man. I've said that thing so many times. It still pops up from time to time. This is Hold My Nuts podcast, man. I appreciate all the love and support. Go cop the shirt. You know what I'm saying? Show your support. Sign up for members only. I got a video on flatlines today. Check that out. And listen, man. It's not a bad thing to be misunderstood. Embrace it. I'm going to holler at y'all.